Well, interesting first period, I got to say, Lee. I mean, I'm not overly surprised. I mean, these two teams are here to battle. Ottawa, no slouch, and neither is the Sarnia Sting right now.
Hmm.
And even shots on goal for both right now, like 7 for us, 9 for them. That's not a lot of shots.
It's not, and I think 6 of those 7 shots that the Sting have made have came within the last 4 minutes of the period.
Yes.
I was not overly enthused about their efforts on offense in the first period there for the
Well,
first part of it. Even during that first power play, that
I,
entire first power play, they got one shot. And I was
right.
like,
And I wonder, I don't know, are they nervous out there? Like, because they know what they're up against here tonight, right? They know every time they come out here, but they know they're fighting a number one team out on that ice right
mhm,
now. And errors are not acceptable when it comes to playing Ottawa here tonight.
right. And fortunately, it's like both teams are coming up with some bad errors, like a lot of unnecessary turnovers on both sides in the
Yeah.
first in the opening minutes of the period. Like I'm watching Ottawa, just give a useless turnover to Sarnia, and it's like, okay, that's good, but then like immediately they turn it right back over to him in the same exact way that it was given to them. So it's like, and I saw a lot of that back and forth for about the first 5 or 8 minutes of the period, and I was kind of like, wasn't sure what to think of what this game was going to become when there was a lot of
Right.
that happening.
Yeah. Well, like, good point. Both playing very similar style out there on the ice tonight, and I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, it's Karate Kid. If you play both the same way, you can't really get anywhere out there, right?
Right.
So now they're in the locker room. Obviously, I would say, what's the discussion? Do you think? What do we need to do coming out here? Next is obviously the discussion in the second period. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good pace. I think it could come up a little bit
Yeah, for
more.
sure.
But even when when we had the power play there, like you said, boy, Ottawa was still all over us. I mean, we kept the puck in their end for the most part. I think during that last power play that we saw, but then it would sneak. I don't know. Like it's
That seems to be what the Sting does on their power play, though, and it seemed like they were getting away from it, but in these 2 power plays they had here in the first period, they're right back to it. It's where they just move the puck around. They get very
yeah,
few shots. It's like they're trying to look for that golden opportunity,
right.
get that
The
perfect
TSN
shot.
turning point.
They
We want
spend
the perfect goal.
they spend the entire 2 minutes of their power play looking for that perfect goal and getting off, if they're lucky, 1 or 2 shots. And I'd rather see 6 or 7 low quality shots than one great shot.
Yeah, well, to show to Ottawa that we're here to play and got to make the shots to let them know that we're trying to put that puck
Yeah.
in there and we're not slacking off. We saw a good confrontation, if you will, with the coaches.
Yeah, I wasn't
Uh,
sure what was going on there, but it was.
yeah, like Staubitz and even Letang. Like I would expect Staubitz to get a little more chirpy than Letang does. I mean that in a good way, but really saw both of them in there
Yeah, I had.
looking really upset at the
Yeah.
referees.
Well, I don't know what was going on there because it was like it started out like they put the Ottawa guy in the box and they put Fisher in there with him, and then Fisher comes out and Way goes in,
Yeah,
and then again they change it again. Way comes out and Doucette goes in there.
right.
And it was like it just seemed like there's a lot of confusion within the refs
Who's
and the
getting
officiating. It was
who's
like,
getting
whose
this?
penalty is it? It was like,
Yeah.
and I don't blame the coaches on the bench there for having a few choice words for the referees. Like, get it together here, boys.
Well, that for sure. And sometimes you're like, well, if that guy's off the ice for a couple of minutes, it's not as bad as if that other guy's off the ice for a couple of minutes. So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. We'll probably never know. But it was obviously super irritating that both coaches were involved in that there. The officiating out there, I know my friend Jay Peckham might have something to say, but what are you seeing out there? Are you okay with it, or what's
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can never have perfect refereeing.
what?
Um,
You can't?
I've always been one of those guys when it comes to any kind of sporting event where it's like I'm very objective and I'm very much,
Yeah.
you hear the crowd just booing referees for a call that's actually a good call, or you're just cheering it when they let one go. And it's like, just let the refs do the refs are
That's
just
right.
like the players.
I
Mistakes
agree.
are going to happen. They're
Yeah.
not going to be perfect out there. And that's the thing. You just have to deal with the hand that's dealt you when it comes to either
Yeah.
good reffing or bad reffing, good calls or bad calls.
I don't think I've said it before. I don't think they wake up and said, "Well, who are we going to screw over today?"
Yeah.
But I don't worry too much about the refereeing. There was one time this year where I saw a call and it had to do with a goalie call, and I was like, "Wow, okay." Like I really can't go with that, but I'm not the pro either.
Mhm.
So they wake up, they do their job, and don't want that job. Thanks very much.
Yeah. The thing I do like about like the goalie interference calls, things like that, is how they can go and check the replays if there's a goalie interference call on a goal. Like that one, they have to get right. Stuff like that, like all these other calls, if it goes the wrong way from time to time, it is what it is. But when it comes down to like whether a goal's right or not because of a call, they have to check that out. They have to get that right.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment. I get that. I've always been one where I'm not really a fan of reviews, and in any sport for that matter. And I blame it on football. They started it all years ago. Referees are human, just like the players. Kind of similar to what you just said, right? They're going to make mistakes, and that should be a part of the game. Is human error is part of the mistakes. The only problem is we don't trust anybody.
No.
We go, well, he could be on that side. Well, he's from Ottawa. So I don't think it has anything to do. I think that's a scandal that happens once in a blue moon, right? Yeah. And just play the game. That's the call. But yes, when it comes to a goal, especially with the technology, we should be able to go, yeah, that really could make the difference of positioning for a team or that matter.
Exactly.
Right? Everything else is just how much time you spent in the penalty box, which hasn't been too bad for us. I don't think. What have we had? Like 3 penalties, maybe?
3 penalties now, but both.
Seems like Ottawa's had a whole bunch more.
They have. Like this, I think all of our penalties up to this point, I think this is only going to be our second one. And coming up starting, looks like Anderson's going to be in the box for the beginning of the second. Yeah. That's going to be only, I think, Ottawa's first power play. I think every penalty we've had so far has been an offsetting penalty where we haven't had the disadvantage here in Sarnia. So
Anderson will be frustrated sitting in that box. Of course, I don't know if you saw, but at the last game, he got there was like 2 goals within 5 seconds of each other, and Anderson got the last one. He was he'd been looking for a goal. Oh, look at this! Oh, thank you. Oh, I got a cookie from Laura, from Leo, Lambton Elderly Outreach. Let's take a real quick. I did have that set up before. I wanted to show. There we go. Lambton Elderly Outreach doing the chuck-a-puck today. There's Laura Domingos, who just gave me that. Nope, you can't have it. Jay Peckham would be jealous. So they're here with the chuck-a-puck today. And this is the jersey, as I promised last time, that Annie Mason, who's 8 years old, and she got to drop the ceremonial puck here today. Just big grin. And they were interviewing her. I don't know if you caught that. Holly Mulholland was down there talking with her and gave a shout-out. Happy birthday to Annie's mom as well. So happy birthday, Mom. Parents got to be pretty proud of that. And then Kojiko with the T-shirts in there. Always nice to see who's going to be on the concourse. I think that's part of the spirit of the game here as well. Let's go back to talking about that game. Like I said, Anderson, you said sitting in there. I think he's excited to want to get out there and get some goals after the last game that he got in there as well. A couple of hat tricks from the last game. So that momentum you would think would be there, but what's got to happen here in the second period for the Sting? They've got to be the one to get that first goal.
Yeah, for sure. And they got to come out with a little bit more aggression. I think Ottawa's playing on their heels a little bit more than what they were expecting. They need to take advantage of that. They need to jump all over them, throw some aggression, start putting the puck on the net more and just charging in. I see a lot of, when they're moving the puck up the ice, Stinger kind of hanging back and waiting, where it's like, just charge at it, go for it. Yeah. Because it seems like Ottawa's making some mistakes today, and we need to capitalize on those mistakes, take advantage of, I'm not sure what's going on with Ottawa today, but I don't think we're seeing the real Ottawa 67s, and we can jump all over that and take the W today because of that.
Well, the travel, the whatever, who knows? And maybe they're nervous too. Maybe they're going, holy cow, we're playing a team that's coming off 6 wins in a row, played some tough teams in there as well, and they're on a roll. We better be, I don't know. Like I think there's a little bit of nerves on both sides right now. Both have felt each other out a little bit, and now the game is on now. It's coming out 0-0. It's like the first period all over again. That aggression side, I don't know, it makes me a little bit nervous, right? Because Ottawa's a big team too, right?
They are, but even if, we do some bad turn, we get aggressive, we start moving the puck in a little bit quicker, we do some turnovers, we've got the goalie to back it up. We've got a Team Canada gold medalist goalie on our team. And he's made some nice saves in the first period. Like during the 4-on-4, they got that breakaway. I wasn't worried for a second. Benny came up with a beautiful save. So, I mean,
like,
we've got all the tools at both ends of the rink to make this happen.
Yeah.
They just need to capitalize on it.
I'd like to see some longer passes. I saw there was a lot of short passing going on, and they were, with that short passing was catching the skates a lot out there. Let's spread it out a little bit more. Not for lack of trying in the Sarnia Sting. They tried the tic-tac-toe a couple of times, and they were trying to pass, but right on top of them is the Ottawa 67. So, all right, it's about that time.
Definitely going to be a challenge for both sides.
It will. We'll see what happens. I got to get things ready here. There we go. I'm self-producing here. All right, well, 0-0, 7-9 is shots on goal. Pretty even out there. What's going to happen now in the second period? We're seeing the vertical pedal on the right get pushed down, I think is what's coming. We'll be back to talk about it at the end of the second period, of course. And don't forget, post-game press conference will happen at the end of tonight's game, hopefully with a positive for your Sarnia Sting. Live from the concourse with the Sarnia Sting, I'm David Burrows, and this is my friend Lee Bazely. 1, 2, 3. Go Sting, go!